Hello everyone, and welcome to the World War Photographer channel. Today, we will talk about how the conflict spreads around the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to support our work. It truly means a lot to us. By their fourth year of war with Japan, Chinese forces focused on modernizing their military, enhancing their air force, manufacturing weapons, and training officers in advanced warfare. Seen here, Chinese cadets in full battle gear, wearing German-style steel helmets, parade in China on July 11, 1940. British infantrymen take position in a shallow trench near Bardia, a Libyan port held by Italian forces. After a 20-day siege, the Allies captured the port on January 5, 1941. A British bomber lifts off against the backdrop of rocky terrain in East Africa on May 15th, leaving a trail of smoke and sand in its wake. On June 21, 1940, British Mediterranean fleet warships bombarded Fort Capuzzo in Bardia, Libya. An official photographer aboard a battleship captured the action, while anti-aircraft pom-pom guns stood ready for defense. An aerial view of Tobruk, Libya, reveals petrol dumps ablaze following Allied attacks in 1941. Bardia, a fortified Libyan seaport, fell to British forces, resulting in over 38,000 Italian prisoners, including 4 generals and a large haul of war supplies. On February 5, 1941, an endless stream of Italian prisoners marched out as Australian troops secured the area. In January 1941, a squadron of Bren gun carriers, operated by the Australian Light Cavalry, moved through the Egyptian desert. The troops were conducting maneuvers to prepare for the Allied campaign in North Africa. An armourer from the RAF's Middle East Command prepares a bomb for its mission against Italian forces in Africa. Although unfused, once completed, it will be ready for its deadly purpose. The photo was taken on October 24, 1940. On December 28th, a patrol of British Hurricane fighter planes broke formation to engage enemy aircraft while flying over a Middle Eastern sector. Captured from a British warplane during the assault on Tobruk, this photo shows the Italian cruiser San Giorgio burning amidships in Tobruk's harbour on February 18, 1941. The ship was scuttled, its decks littered with wreckage and shattered equipment. On February 19th, Haile Selassie, exiled Emperor of Ethiopia, returned with an Ethiopian army to support the British in Africa. He inspects an airport with an interpreter. After the Italians were defeated, Selassie reclaimed his throne in Addis Ababa on May 5th. Field Marshal General Erwin Rommel, commander of the German Afrika Korps, drinks from a cup with an unidentified German officer while seated in a car, inspecting troops sent to support the Italian army in Libya. On April 14th, a massive Panzer IV German tank, part of the German Expeditionary Force in North Africa, comes to a stop in the Libyan desert. On December 17, 1940, children from Japan, Germany, and Italy gathered in Tokyo to celebrate the signing of the Tripartite Alliance. Japanese Education Minister Kunihiko Hashida, holding crossed flags, and Tokyo Mayor Tomejiro Okubo were among the sponsors. On November 17th, a British cruiser tank is unloaded at a port in Egypt, part of a large shipment of tanks sent by British forces. On December 9th, Cameron Highlanders, a Scottish infantry regiment, and Indian troops march past the Great Pyramid in the North African desert. On September 14, 1940, a Japanese bomber flies over Chongqing, China, as smoke rises from bombs dropped near a bend of the Yangtze River. On May 2, 1941, Chinese soldiers operate a sound detector to guide the firing of 3-inch anti-aircraft guns around Chongqing, China. On June 30th, A Japanese tank crosses an emergency bridge somewhere in China. Amidst complete devastation, this Chinese water boy continued his work after 4 days and nights of relentless aerial bombardment by Japanese warplanes in Chongqing, China, on August 10, 1940. On October 29th, an aerial view captures Japan's home fleet arranged in a battle line off the coast of Yokohama, Japan. On September 26th, French colonial forces withdrew from Haiphong in French Indochina as Japanese occupation troops took control of the port and city. This move followed the Franco-Japanese Agreement, where Vichy France granted military access to Japanese forces. On January 9, 1941, Italian bombers flew toward the Albanian-Greek frontier for combat. Italian forces had begun their invasion of Greece from Albanian territory on October 28, 1940. On January 11th, Royal Air Force bombers launched a raid on the Italian-occupied port city of Valona, Albania. In May 1941, a squad of German soldiers marches through a Greek village during the occupation of Greece. On June 16th, a paratroop aircraft crashes on the Greek island of Crete, showing the price paid by German air invaders. While fighter planes patrolled, troop-carrying aircraft followed, escorted by bombers. In early 1941, a paratrooper and his parachute lie on the island of Crete after a fall. In January 1941, a view from the roof of St. Paul's Cathedral in London shows the building surrounded by fires during the Great Blitz. Devastated buildings stretch across the scene, with the Old Bailey's Tower, topped by its Statue of Justice, still standing to the upper left. On January 19th, German anti-aircraft guns fire smoke along the Channel coast of France. On August 3, 1940, the Lancastria was bombed by a German Junkers 88 while evacuating British nationals and troops from France. The ship sank within 20 minutes, with 2,477 rescued and around 4,000 perishing. This photo shows the liner tipping as men scramble for safety, with many in the water. On January 31st, during a nighttime air raid over Brest, France, this photograph captures the intense flak and anti-aircraft fire. The camera, with its shutter open for 3 to 4 seconds, reveals the tracer shells as fine lines of light and the heavier gunfire as broader lines. Factories and buildings are visible below. On January 14, 1941, a British soldier in battle dress and a bearded Canadian sailor share a light at an English port. On January 1st, Jimmy Stewart, former movie star, is sworn in as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Air Corps by Lieutenant E.L. Reed at Moffett Field, California. Stewart was one of Hollywood's top actors before joining the Army in 1941. On August 28, 1940, outdated but serviceable U.S. destroyers sit in the back bay at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. Plans were underway to modernize these ships and transfer them to Allied countries, a move that would become part of the Lend-Lease program in March 1941, leading to billions of dollars in war material being sent overseas. On January 21, 1941, a crew of observers on the Empire State Building in New York City participated in an air defense test conducted by the U.S. Army. Their task was to spot invading enemy bombers and relay the information to centers that would dispatch interceptor planes. The 4-day test covered an 18,000 square mile area in the northeastern states. On March 19th, U.S. postal employees in San Francisco burned 17 tons of reading materials labeled as propaganda. The majority of the newspapers, books, and pamphlets came from Nazi Germany, with some from Russia, Italy, and Japan. On December 28, 1940, Arab recruits line up for their first drill under a British soldier in the British Mandate of Palestine. Around 6,000 Palestinian Arabs enlisted in the British Army during World War II. On December 16th, artillery signallers at an outpost in Palestine prepare at dawn, dressed warmly to ward off the desert chill. On December 20th, a newly constructed wall partitions the central part of Warsaw, Poland. Built by the Nazis, the red brick and grey stone walls, 12 to 15 feet high, formed a ghetto for the city's approximately 500,000 Jews. On February 17, 1941, in the Warsaw Ghetto, Jews are seen wearing white armlets with the Star of David. Trams are marked with the words, "For Jews Only." In December 1940, a German army officer lectures children in a ghetto in Lublin, German-occupied Poland, advising them, "Don't forget to wash every day." On December 20th, the faces of Jewish children are seen in the ghetto of Siedlowiec, Poland, under Nazi occupation. Thanks for watching until the end. If you enjoyed these historical World War photos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.